That's the biggest goddamn pit I ever seen. Are you impressed? He's impressed. Well, we're back in Southern California, and you know, today all I want to do is relax. And everybody knows the best place to relax in Southern California is right here in Kramer Junction, the intersection of California State Route 58 and US 395, a very important highway junction, mostly for trucks. As you can see, a bunch of trucks sitting right here. This is where the Central Valley of California, the Los Angeles Valley, and much of the Mojave Desert kind of converge and come together. A lot of truck traffic, a lot of train traffic, but otherwise a lot of middle of nowhere, nothing going on. What you see is what you get. This is pretty much most of the town and its prime spot. The prime real estate here, other than the Pilot truck stop up there, is right here where me and my friend George are hanging out, eating some seeds. A place I've passed by many times and never really stopped to appreciate. The Relax Inn Motel. Is it an inn? Is it a motel? Nobody's sure. It's both. One thing's for sure, you can relax here, but not today. Sorry, George. No vacancy. Look at this. Look how relaxed everything is here. Look at how relaxed the Easter Bunny is. He's just chilling. He's not laying down on the job. Easter is over. He's relaxing until next year comes along. Look at this. Somebody was pulling some kind of weird cart through the desert. See the handle there? Some kind of weird trolley cart type device. And then they decided, you know what? I'm going to stop pulling this through the desert. I'm going to stop right over here and I'm going to relax. The tires are relaxed. These boulders are relaxed. The trash, look at this, a lot. That's a lot of tires. These truckers sitting out here in front of the hotel, they look very relaxed. That's because this motel right here has not only got free HBO and over 120 channels on the cable, according to the sign over the office, but look at this, George. You can come in, get a bed for the night, and get a massage, George. That's not just a number to call for somebody to come visit you and give you a massage. Look at this, right on the side of the hotel. You see the office over there, oh, I should say motel or inn, either one. Under new management, special weekly and monthly rates, truck drivers discount, office, Relax Inn, free HBO, Wi-Fi, free over 120 channels. Like I said, that's the office, and then you pan down over here past some of the rooms, and look at that, room number 17, massage. It's right there, walking distance from your room. This is truly the perfect place to relax. Unfortunately, dang it, no vacancy, George. We're gonna have to see what else Kramer Junction has to offer, and luckily I see a sign. Literally, look at this, in this little park-like area right here, I noticed this big sign, snack and souvenir shop. That sounds pretty exciting. That turtle right there looks pretty excited about it. But before we go across the road over to the barn, AKA the snack and souvenir shop, I just noticed this actually is a park. It's the dog park for your fur babies, provided by the barn. So look at this, we got a couple of railroad ties here around this nice dirt area, which I believe they must try to keep free from glass and other, sharp objects and things that you usually find in the desert along highways. Look at that, they got a nice little trash can there, and there's even a sprinkler. It's a literal oasis in the desert, nice little grassy area for your dog, for your pet to enjoy. Let's say you're a trucker, right? And you got to come through the desert on these long hauls, and you got your dog with you. A lot of truckers do. I'm not actually being sarcastic. I genuinely think this is nice at the place across the street, the truck stop, the gas station, the barn, the souvenir and snack shop, whatever you want to call it. They actually put out this nice little dog park right here. So your furry friends can have a place to relax and enjoy while you can park your truck over there, get a little maintenance like this guy's doing. I think it's actually pretty sweet. All right, let's cross the street now to the barn and see what's going on inside the snack and souvenir shop. I want to know if it lives up to the turtle hype or if this is a lying turtle and he's trying to grift. He's trying to sell me something. All right, here it is. This is the place. You see the barn here. You got a liquor store. You got a restaurant next door, the Roadhouse Restaurant. Very good name for a restaurant that's literally on the side of the road. George, what do you think about that, George? Good. George, and then look at this. You see these all over the desert, the sort of double entry here, because the winds get so extreme out in the desert, it will literally rip the door off its hinges, so you gotta kind of enter from the side and then go in the side. You see that in snowy places too, George. You would know, you don't live in the snow, George.
Big Bear, they have a lot of
oh yeah, you did live in the snow.
Denny's up there.
Yeah, the Denny's. George knows. Real quick before we go in though, look at this. I noticed another billboard. Massage. What's up with people needing so many massage? Oh yeah, because they like to come out here and relax, George.
And it's stressful times.
Yes, it is. It is stressful times. There are wars and rumors of wars, and that's when you need a good massage. All right, now it's a party because there's a hand-painted mural. Look at that. You got the Roadrunner, the trains through the desert, a very strangely placed electrical outlet up there above that jackrabbit. You got the 20 Mule Team hauling borax out of the mines. And by the way, we are near the biggest borax mine on the planet, a giant pit out here in the desert. And this is where the 20 Mule Teams literally would haul borax, which is used in making soap and all kinds of products, out into the world. Look at all these souvenir Mojave Desert mugs. And for some reason, some sailors and seashells.
We live it for fun. No
What?
apologies to any. Pippi Longstocking?
Oh yeah! Speaking of Pippi, what about Peppa?
Oh, yeah.
Peppa Pig right there. You got a Peppa Pig lunchbox, Mandalorian lunchboxes. This is indeed a souvenir and snack shop. And I like the selection of t-shirts. George, we might need to get matching shirts, because this is sick. Look at this guy. This is interesting because look at this t-shirt right here. Where the heck is Four Corners, California? That would be the corner right here. This intersection. Kramer Junction is what I've always heard it called. Never heard it referred to as Four Corners before. There used to be this little gift shop next door that sold all kind of pottery, you know, like the little burros and things like that, like ceramics and stuff. It's closed today. Or at least we think it's closed. We tried to get over there and it looked pretty abandoned looking to me. Looks like someone's just... No, the place next door, remember, past the Burger King? But they've got that gift store, they've got the Burger King, they've got the Roadhouse, the Mini Mart. That's pretty much the whole... They've got pretty much the whole town there on that t-shirt, George. Now this I love. Not only can you get snacks and souvenirs, you can get some art. What size?
Yeah.
You gonna get one?
You said we should get one.
We should both get this t-shirt. Oh, that's on the back. What's on the front? What's on the front there? Mojave Desert, California.
Oh, yeah.
It sure is.
That's where we are.
This place is cool because they actually do have a nice little market. There's a nice selection here. And most importantly, coffee. I need to go for the 100% Colombian over here. Got to get the Colombian. Okay, I just poured this coffee out, which by the way is so hot. I mean, nuclear irradiated, so hot. Added a little creamer in there, a little Splenda or whatever they had. That is some really good coffee. Why don't you like coffee, George?
What?
Why don't you like coffee?
Why don't I like coffee?
Yeah, why don't you like coffee?
It doesn't taste good.
You can make it taste good. You put some Farmer Brothers half and half creamer in there.
No.
I like how they also have a little automotive section in here. George is availing himself of the facilities. Don't look in that direction. That's private. But look at this. They've got all these little quarter machines. Tiny little metal light-up guns for sale. Unfortunately out of order at the moment. Some sparkle mix tattoos. I couldn't convince George to put on a temporary butterfly tattoo today, but I might be able to convince him to get one of these gold chains. I did convince him to get a t-shirt. They don't match. We didn't get matching ones, but we did both get t-shirts. We'll have to wait for the t-shirt reveal till later on in the video. I know you're all dying for that. Anyway, there you have it. There's the barn here in Kramer Junction, or as they're calling it, Four Corners, California. I don't know what's upstairs. I wonder if it's one of those live-work situations. I was going to go in the Roadhouse, but I already found very, very good coffee. Farmer Brothers Coffee Company. Very good. There's the sort of modern pilot station across the street. That's pretty boring. Across the street this way, you've got another little fountain drinks, gift shop, souvenirs, nuts, snacks. But unfortunately, it's closed over there in this old kind of abandoned gas station. Seen better days. And it looks like someone was trying to renew it from the ashes, or maybe they're still currently trying to. For all I know, it's actually the people at the barn. It's actually the story in a lot of desert towns, right? Because this is a Chevron and so is the gas station at the barn. Sometimes you'll have the older service station and then they'll build a much more expansive, bigger project across the way. And then they'll abandon the old little small filling station across the road. But it looks like this is coming back because I see gifts in there. I see matching t-shirts to the ones we just bought. Ah, what the heck? Let's go over and take a look. I mean, how often are we in Kramer Junction? Yeah, this is pretty interesting. These are some pretty modern gas pumps. And like I say, this place looks kind of cleaned up. I don't know if it's ready to open. Maybe it's open seasonally. Maybe they just cleaned it up so it didn't look like a mess. If you know anything about me, I'm a fan of old gas stations, filling stations, piece of Americana that's slowly disappearing as they build bigger and more modern ones. And I'm especially a fan of these kinds of properties being recycled or upcycled into other stuff. Now, normally down here in Kramer Junction, I was hoping it would be happening today. There's sort of a little outdoor market across the street where you see people selling like Bob Marley blankets and kind of random stuff. Doesn't appear to be anybody out there today, but there's one more place in town I would like to check out. Hopefully that will be open. Oh, and by the way, while we're out here, look at that. Woo! With a debit card gas out here. $6.29 at the lowest. I don't know how well you guys can see that. And at the highest, diesel out here, $8.69. Living the dream out here in California, my friends. Living the dream. Hey, George, you're not supposed to relax here. You're supposed to relax back there at the Relax Motel Inn. George looks way too relaxed. I'm starting to think he got a massage. There's one more place I want to check out. I'm actually going to turn north here on the 395, which goes all the way up the backside of California, through Oregon, up through Washington. It's a favorite road of mine, actually. Although this is not the road we're taking today, we are on our way to a final destination. But our final destination is along California 58, Highway 58, which you can see right there up on top of that bridge, towards Edwards Air Force Base. First, check this out. All right, here we are, Kramer Junction Antiques. It looks like this actually is open today. I've been watching this place grow over the years in terms of putting out all these amazing old gas station signs out on display. You can see an old penny farthing, an old bone shaker bicycle up there on top of the roof. A bunch of other cool antiques out here in the yard. A couple of vintage trucks. The cool thing is this place is right across the parking lot from a new truck stop development. I can see it just over there. They're gonna have a couple different little restaurants and a big Shell station. But this used to be a little burger place called the Astro Burger, and I can see the sign is still out there along the highway. I used to stop here on the way to Edwards Air Force Base when I was in Boy Scouts, and we would all eat at the Astro Burger. Fun little piece of trivia. That is the first place I ever went into the men's restroom, and there was a quarter machine inside that was not selling tattoos, stickers, or souvenirs of any kind. There were grown-up man souvenirs in the quarter machine in the men's restroom in the Astro Burger, George.
Lollipops.
Yes, lollipops. They were flavored, whatever they were. There he goes. He's off to see if the quarter machines are still over there. Just before we go in, because I don't know how camera friendly they are, inside just admiring these old trucks. Look at that Ford F500 right there, nice. And then look at this down at the other end. I really love this truck. This is cool. Something a lot of people don't think of. You think of oil tankers and milk trucks and stuff, but you never really think about water trucks. That is something that was absolutely essential. Old highway travel, you needed to refill the radiator all the time. And if you live out here in the desert, you might need to import your water, have it trucked in to a big tank on your property. Very cool. What kind of truck is this? I'm not familiar with this. Anyway, as you can see, it's a big property, and there's a whole bunch of really cool stuff here. Look at that old mobile gas station. Got some military vehicles out here, some more old trucks. The fence is open, so I'm just taking a risk wandering in over here. Got that Players Navy Cut tobacco and cigarette sign. Check out those old gas pumps. But this is amazing. It looks authentic. It looks like somebody might have picked this thing up and moved this out here. Look at this old filling station. Just that simple little counter inside. A couple of cans of oil on the back shelf there. And look at that old display counter with the glass. Can you see that through the window? That is fantastic. Ask for gargoyle, mobile oil. This is really cool. Then I don't know what these are called. These like tracked vehicles. But that looks like it'd be an awful lot of fun to go rooting around in the desert in. That's awesome. All right, anyway, we do have somebody to meet, somewhere to be. We're gonna pop in here for a couple seconds, look around, see what it's like in there at the antique store in Kramer Junction. Oh, wow, this is awesome. This is where they're hiding all the good stuff, George. Look at this. Look at the size of that selection. Man, it's bigger on the inside. There's so much good stuff hiding out here. Four Corners, California, Kramer Junction, middle of nowhere. And look at this, you can get a quiver full of arrows. Oh my gosh, look at all of those toy mice. And look at this. I don't know what that is, but it says UFO. Got this little Mickey Mouse hat box right here. I like that. Okay, there's the most ornate smoking jacket I've ever seen in my life. Looks like Santa Claus's smoking jacket. That's crazy. Oh, old wax cylinder Edison recordings. Somewhere there exists a recording of Mark Twain's voice. It's never been discovered. Could it be here in Kramer Junction? There's literally great stuff in every single one of these booths, and there's so many more booths in here than I was expecting. Some old saws. I see those. Hey, there's me. Hi, guys. Speaking of water in the desert, there's an old water bag. I've never seen this one before. An old Route 66, Will Rogers Highway water bag. Unfortunately, not for sale. Oh, wouldn't be somewhere vintage without the king. Oh, look at this. Our friend Tyler couldn't come with us on this trip, but he's always with us in spirit. Fake Tyler? Speaking of fake Tyler, got him a little present right here. Don't tell him anybody. Another present for my friend Ben. He loves Pacific Ocean Park.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, nobody tell George's wife he was looking at this thing. I'm more into the wax cylinders, but George, he's the vinyl guy.
78s.
78s, were they actually vinyl?
They're like acrylic.
Yeah, that's right. That's why you could smash them, like the old days. Like It's a Wonderful Life, where she breaks the record over his head?
Right.
No, she doesn't break it on his head. She breaks it on the thing.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of? When did somebody break a record on someone's head?
Oh.
It's in a movie.
La Bamba? No, they didn't break records in La Bamba.
Richie!
She threw plates at him.
All right, speaking of vinyl, George could not resist this Davy Crockett record right here. He's a big fan of the old Mickey Mouse Club, an old classic Disney from that era. He had to pick it up. It was only $5. Can you blame him? No, you cannot. It's the law. All right, we are going to deep rock this video now by heading off to the west, near to Edwards Air Force Base. We're going to go see an old friend of mine, an old friend of Random Land. Way back in the day, they helped edit my videos when they were much harder to edit. My friend Matt Most from Utmost Studios, but George wants to show you something he got. A Discovery Zone token. We're going DZ at Discovery Zone today.
DZ, where kids want to be.
We're going to discover our old friend Matt. Utmost Studios. Remember that show Hot Air they used to do, the cartoon with the hot air balloons, and everyone was a hot air balloon and they were baskets for hot air balloons? Look it up. Hot Air by Utmost Studios. All right, let's hit it. Let's hit the highway. The old California 58, not the new freeway looking California 58. We're off to North Edwards, California, just on the north side of Edwards Air Force Base, to go find our old friend Matt Most. Making our way through the little seen better days town of Boron, California, right here on the edge of the Borax mine pit. I fell in the pit. A couple of antique stores in town, but none of them look open. And look at that. There's one of those big yellow trucks they take to get down in the pit. I want to get out and look at that, but I'm not sure if we're gonna head back this way with Matt Most, so I'm gonna try to control myself. Just keep driving. I gotta keep driving, George.
Do it.
I'm trying. All right, we just turned off the highway into North Edwards. And my first thought is, my, what a desolate place this is. All right, here he is. It's Matt Most. You trimmed the beard. You trimmed the Amish beard.
I'm no longer the Amish Matt.
And you're wearing glasses, so it almost looks like you have eyebrows. Yeah. We appreciate
They're
that.
Really not there.
The hair is still red. We want to know where the rainbow ends and where the gold is buried.
I cannot show you where the gold is buried. You have to find it on your own.
Okay, now tell me something. For those that went out and looked up Hot Air, which I just referenced a little while ago.
That's scary.
There was an episode where me and Adam the Woo did some voices for it.
You did. I'm working on it.
Is there a possibility we might ever see
the
unfinished Adam and Justin?
There is a high possibility, but Doug Most is not helping. So
Doug Most.
It is now Matt Most.
He's being shamed? Are we shaming Doug?
Yeah, we're publicly shaming Doug Most. And it is Allie Most, my daughter. We are working on it.
It's
together.
all you see. There's a lot of Mosts here. The Most family has grown.
Yeah.
If you go way, way back, I don't know the title of the episode. Maybe you do. Tyler Evans and I, in like 2014 or 15, did a Halloween special episode where we went with you and your friends, including Doug Most, to an abandoned prison neighborhood for the families that lived in the prison. It was like a low security prison in the desert. It's mostly demolished now.
Visit the Hobas.
Yeah, so we went out there and there was a body on the ground.
There was a body.
And somebody says, that's Doug.
That's not Doug.
And we go, that's not Doug, bro.
Yeah.
That's who we're talking about. That's who Doug Most is.
Doug Most is the one.
Is it in the book?
No.
No, it's not in the book.
Not in the book. Not in the book.
But you can still see that Halloween episode.
You can. It's one of the greatest.
It's one of the greatest episodes. Oh, here, what's it called? Abandoned Prison After Midnight Halloween Random Land is the title. Look it up. Abandoned Prison After Midnight Halloween Random Land.
And the prison's gone now.
And you will see a young Matt Most running around the desert, taking us to his old haunts, literally,
and pulling out real terror out of our favorite person.
You'll also see Tyler Evans, who, by the way, just had a kidney transplant and is alive. Thank God. You can see Tyler Evans out in an abandoned prison in the California desert, at like 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning.
Absolutely terrified. Also, he swears in
Yeah.
that video, which is very funny.
He does, and he was mad the whole time.
He was angry
the whole time.
He was so angry. Like, can we just leave?
We had to
Can
drag
go?
him.
Yes.
It was
And
good.
you guys played the old. I don't want to spoil the That's Not Doug Bro, but you guys pulled the old switcheroo.
We did, and it was great.
And I've never.
You will not be disappointed.
I've never forgiven you.
Yeah.
All right, I wasn't expecting this, but we're getting a tour of Matt's cult compound out here. He has a very large family. I call them the most cult. And there's turkeys. Look at you, you jive turkey. Not just turkeys, but like a ton of chickens. And I happen to know they're Buff Orpingtons because I have 2 chickens at home. I just want to say I've got 2 chickens and they lay a insane amount of eggs on a daily basis. So I can't even imagine how many eggs. Ducks! How many eggs this many chickens lays. Let's see if we can get a view on the chickens here. Let's see if we can take a peek. Look at the size of that herd of hens. Yes. Clearly, Matt is a superior egg farmer to me. You will notice in my Instagram bio, it says egg farmer. That's because I'm constantly pulling eggs out of my tiny little chicken hutch. I'm glad I don't have that many chickens, at least not in Anaheim. I was never expecting ducks. Look at these happy ducks out here, enjoying life. I get ducks every day, but they fly out of Disneyland, then land in my backyard. They eat some of the chicken feed. I don't understand why some of the turkeys are in a cage and some of the turkeys are free. Some of the turkeys seem shy. Some of the turkeys are just laying there like, come and pet me, buddy, be my best friend. Oh, Matt told me the doors are open so they can get out if they want to, and they just don't want to. Oh no! Oh no, we shouldn't be seeing this. Avert your gaze, children, you're too young. This is a family show. Mr. Rooster, this is a family presentation. Can we take this somewhere? Take this to the Relax Motel and Inn. Those chickens were trying to pull off Kramer Junction activities out here. They were trying to relax and get a massage in your backyard. Anyway, now that we have inspected the livestock, I will let Matt explain where we're going next.
So we are currently driving to United States Borax in Boron, California.
The pit.
The pit.
Now, is this the biggest pit in the world? What is this pit?
Oof. It's the biggest
In the western
open
United
mining,
States, right?
It's the biggest open mining operation in the United States, I believe.
So it's a massive pit.
Yeah.
They mine borax
Yeah.
or borate to make borax.
Correct.
What is borax?
Borax is a major ingredient in a bunch of things. Soap, obviously, everybody knows soap, but the windshield of your car, glasses,
Really?
plastics in cars, it goes in almost anything modern that you can think of. It's part of it.
And we can't go down in the pit today, but we're going to go to the
Working on
visitor
it.
center. We're going to go take a peek at it. Maybe go talk to some folks there about going in the pit and falling into the pit in the future.
Falling in.
But you worked in the pit.
So I worked for the pit, yes. Little leprechaun Matt worked in Borax for 5 years, yes.
Because you've had a bunch of weird jobs, because living out here, there's not a lot you can do. Most people work on the base, but at one point you worked on those big windmill things
I
that
did.
generate
I
electricity.
climbed windmills, yeah.
That is terrifying.
It is
You
terrifying.
worked in the pits.
Mhm.
Now you work for the US government. That's all we can and will say.
Yep.
But you have worked in and near the pit while they literally still blow up the earth.
Yes.
And then they take those big yellow trucks and haul stuff out of the pit.
Yep,
Think we
so-
could get close to one of those yellow trucks?
Yeah, probably we'll take you to Boron. They have one in Boron.
Oh, the one we saw on the way here. Okay. So we're going to see the pit first,
Yep.
and then we might see a big yellow truck.
Yep.
And if we're lucky, Joni Mitchell will show up and write a new song. All right, that's where we're headed. You see the big slag heaps? That's not the pit. The pit is off that way by all that industrial-looking stuff. Like I said, we can't get in the pit today, but they have this crazy visitor center. I've been to it once before. I don't think I ever filmed there, but it's pretty interesting. And let me tell you, they know a lot about borax in the Borax Visitor Center. Hey, Matt, did I ever tell you about the time I was driving up the road to White Sands because I thought there was a missile museum open to the public with my camera rolling, and they did not agree with that? I was just rolling right up on the base. This is what that reminds me of. I only mention that because we're just rolling towards a facility here that very much looks like you can't visit, but look at that. There's the sign right there. Visitor Center. I think we're going to be okay.
Mule says you're welcome.
Oh, thank God. Oh, dude, we are climbing a mighty hill right now. We are climbing up to the visitor center. Look, there is one of those big yellow trucks up there. I don't have a zoom lens, But still, even with this lens, I think when we get up there, you'll be impressed by this view.
I just fly off.
It's all fun and games talking about falling in the pit, but if you fell in this pit, you wouldn't get back up.
If you fall into this pit, yep, it's the end.
It's the pit of eternal despair.
Yep.
It's
You're
over.
never coming back out.
All right, here it is. The type of thing you would never know existed unless you had a friend out here like Matmos. And there she blows. The US Borax Visitor Center built into the side of a heap of whatever it is they're mining out of the pit. But look at this off to the left. It is the 20 Mule Team. This right here is one of the original 20 Mule Team Borax wagons, or I guess I should say wagon trains. That was a literal thing. Now, our generation that grew up in the 80s, 90s, and beyond, most of us are not gonna be that familiar with 20 Mule Team Borax, which is a product, a lot of soaps and things named after that. Not a lot of borax commercials on TV these days, but especially in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, in the heyday of Westerns, oftentimes 20 Mule Team Borax would be advertised on TV. They famously sponsored the show Death Valley Days, among others. I believe they had Ronald Reagan as a spokesman when he was an actor. Ronald Reagan, the actor? And according to this sign, these are not replicas. This is one of the original 20 Mule Team wagon sets used to carry borax out of Death Valley. That is where US Borax started. It's now contained within the boundaries of the national park, but they do have some of the original borax mines in Death Valley that you can visit. And they needed the 20 mules to haul the borax out of Death Valley across 165 miles of mountains and deserts to the closest railroad spur in Mojave, California, off in the distance where Matt has lived among his many other residences out here in the desert. He's one of those desert rats. He's been all over the place. This is really incredible. So these weren't just used like in the commercials or whatever. These are actual Mule Team wagons used in Death Valley. We're talking about late 1800s, early 1900s to haul out borax. Again, this is not something that's so famous to our generation, but our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents were very familiar not only with 20 Mule Team Borax products, which is why you see the TM up over here, because it was a product line, a whole line of products and soaps, laundry detergents, things like that. But they would have also been very familiar with the commercials that always show, you know how Wells Fargo's got the Stagecoach, and they got their Stagecoach team of horses, and you still see commercials like that. It was sort of like that, but with a team of 20 mules hauling that wagon. This is not the only original wagon train they've got. Apparently they have more stored somewhere safely down into the pit. But this is crazy. I love that these have been preserved out here. And this is just the beginning. Oh, you can hear the bells ringing. Listen to them. Listen to them mule bells. You guys proud of the mules out here, Matt?
Yes, we're really proud of them. All 20 of them.
I'm proud of them. I'm not even from here.
Well, look at this. Before we even get in the visitor center, they got a miner's cabin, one of the original miner's cabins built for the Baker Mine to house Pacific Borax employees. This one says it held 1 or 2 unmarried men, built around 1929. Rent was included in a room and board package, which cost $5 a week. Man, you had 2 unmarried men sharing that bed together, I guess. That's how they did things back in the borax days. Wasn't weird, it was just a couple of men mining.
For $5.
Enjoying life.
Technically $2.50 a person.
The weird thing is that it says this type of housing was used until the early 1960s. This is not how I picture people living in the 60s in a crate like this. It's amazing. It's amazing how far the average worker has come. Really. Quick short round into the ore cars. Da, 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 da. Oh my gosh, do you know what? Hold on, let me see. That's borax. That's real borax, which means this is real borate. I thought this place was gonna be boring, but it turns out it's borgrate. Oh, they got a whole museum in here. They're gonna teach us all about borax. And then look at this over yonder. Look at that mining head frame. Look at the tires there for the big yellow trucks. And there's one of them right there. You know what I'm gonna say, but I'm holding it in. I'm holding it in until we get closer. Would you look at the size of that truck? That is a 2.5-story open pit mining truck. Look at this, look at the ladders, the staircases on the side of it, just to climb up there into the cab. George, that's the biggest frickin' Tonka truck I've ever seen. But if you think that's big, wait till you get a load of this. Behold, my friends, this is it. This is the pit. Oh, and look, if you look very, very carefully, I'm gonna have to zoom in the zoomed in footage to see that there is one of those huge trucks moving around down there. When you realize one of those trucks is like 3 stories tall, that's when it hits you. This pit is bigger even than it looks. George, that's the biggest goddamn pit I ever seen. Are you impressed? He's impressed. Would you look at the size of that hole? That thing is ginormous. I don't even have any statistics on how big exactly that pit is, but I'm sure we're gonna find out all about it inside the visitor center. It sort of reminds me of that Office episode where they're standing outside of that massive dump and Dwight's like, wow, you know, humans, we can do all this. That's amazing. I mean, that's where you get your soap from, and toothpaste ingredients, and all kinds of, I think it goes into glass, and all kinds of different stuff. Probably healthcare equipment and supplies. I mean, all the things that make modern life possible come out of the ground like that. I don't know if it's a beautiful sight or not. Meaning, I don't know if I'd exactly choose that word, but it's impressive. Most impressive. Matt's coming out to get a look at the pit. Does it look the way you remembered it?
No, it changes all the time.
It changes all the time, really?
It changes all the time.
Okay, so tell me, how big is this pit? You have some statistics on this, from memory, but still.
From memory, when I worked here, it was 1 mile wide, over 1 mile long, and over 1,000 feet deep. Yep.
Over 1,000 feet deep from where we're standing down to the bottom of the pit.
Yep, absolutely, to the bottom part.
That is the pits, man. I mean, that is huge. So
real
that's
deep.
about what? A quarter of the way to heck? I mean, that's a deep pit.
It is. You don't want to fall in.
Oh, man. Matt goes, you don't want to fall in. He said, people do actually fall into this pit. They have been hurt, which makes sense because this is almost the final boss of pits, which is why it says final slope. Do not disturb. By the way, these two have never really hung out together and they're having such a little bromance. Every time I introduce a friend of mine to George, all of a sudden they become best friends. They're probably gonna get in a group chat without me. Wait, what'd you say?
Not everybody.
Not everybody?
No.
No, but every time you hang out with one of my friends, you steal them.
Not all of them.
Well, but just the good ones.
Yeah.
Okay, we were just talking about this. I am 2 hours from Disneyland, maybe 2.5 if you get a little bit of traffic, looking at this. And I've been across this desert many times back in the day playing shows, and I would have never known this was here. And this does seem like the kind of thing that like maybe you hide. A lot of environmentalists and things, and people who are, there are people who are not fans of open pit mining, and yet there's this amazing visitor center, and you can really get in and see the nuts and bolts of how all of our products and things come to be by looking at this gigantic freaking hole. It's amazing, okay? This hole is amazing. The most astounding hole I ever did see.
On the whole, it's amazing.
They got these huge ore cars out here the size of freaking dumpsters. Got a big head frame for a demonstration. And over there, we can't get right up close to the big yellow truck over here, but we can get up close to a set of its tires just to give you an idea of proper scale. Because George is still standing 15 feet away from that thing. Dude, there it is right there. Look at that. That tire is over 10 feet tall. That is more than 2 alleys tall, that tire right there. And there's Matt right in the ring. Get in the ring, bro. And look at George. George is standing next to the little tire. The little tires. Yeah, that's the small one, buddy. I like how I told George he was standing by the smaller tire for the older trucks. He goes, oh, I want to go by the big one. Look at that. Matt Mose is fully inside of that tire.
I want to be by Matt.
This is how, of course you want to be by Matt, not by me. This is how big these tires are. You could make a freaking clubhouse in them. Oh, you know what'd be sick is if we got inside that tire and someone pushed us down the pit.
You'd be dead.
All right, so we've heard there's an older docent inside who's very knowledgeable about borax. There are some exhibits inside of there on this museum on the edge of the pit. We're going in now. Here we go, this is it. Prepare to enter the world of borax. Oh my gosh, would you look at this? Look at this, is what I'm talking about, the old branding. 20 Mule Team Borax for sale here. Look at that. Your kids could take a fun pick at the grocery store. Okay, so here's some borate ore. This is crystallized, so it's called kernite, which is what Kern County gets its name from, which I just found out from you. I'm currently learning a lot about borax. Okay, I'll try harder later. But there it is. Look at this. Look how shiny and pretty it is. That's what got the prospectors involved. Holy Toledo! And look at this picture. Look at the size of the pit. which, by the way, is simply known as, look right down here, the pit. That thing is even more impressive in a photograph. They seriously do have all these exhibits on mining. They're literally using like little Tonka truck style little miniatures to kind of explain some of the big equipment they use down there. Look at the fleet of those epic big trucks. Matt told me that they're actually using much bigger trucks than these now. So they have trucks that are upwards of 30 feet tall. It's pretty impressive, George. You ever driven a truck that big?
No.
So we've been working for a while on getting permission to maybe go down in the pit. That might be something that's impossible, but hopefully we'll be able to come back one day and we'll go down into the pit. And look at this, look at all these minerals here. Colemanite, what do we got? We got borax, so here's just pure borax, unadulterated, very soapy borax. Kernite, which looks much more like something you could build the Fortress of Solitude out of. And then here's Ulexite? Do you know what that is? What is that?
I do not know.
What's Ulexite?
It's this.
Well, yeah, it's obviously this. And check this out. They have underage people working in this museum because there's a miner right there. Okay, actually, this isn't meant to represent a miner. I think this is a mannequin representing a high school student who created this as a high school project. So this is literally a miner. I wasn't expecting that plot twist in the video. Oh man, I hope they don't have this poor little girl working in the pit. Okay, so here's a good display. This will help us actually a lot because you hear borax, you know it's like a chemical or a mineral, but then look at all the stuff it's in. It's in Play-Doh. It's on the heat-resistant panels on the space shuttle. It's in laboratory glass. Apparently it's in mirrors. I almost said minerals again. Wine bottles, ceramics, Pyrex, and look at your pots and pans, your computers, your digital devices. So apparently there's a little borax in everything. But look at this is what I was talking about. The laundry detergent, not only do they put it in Tide and Whisk, but there it is, 20 Mule Team Borax. You can still buy 20 Mule Team brand borax products, which I'm assuming this plant actually owns that brand. But then they also sell their minerals to go into all these different products right here. And the community is very proud.
Borax is in all of us.
Borax is in all, probably literally, we're probably ingesting this stuff all day long. And outside, we were probably breathing quite a bit of it. But you know what? They taught me at this museum, it's good for you. Borax cleans the insides. Oh, I like this. They got models. They got all these models explaining the different pieces of factory we can see from the pit. So there's a big dryer to dry the borax. I don't know what this is, but look at the size of that spinny, circly thing with all the pipes. What is that? It's a what?
A thickener.
What's a thickener? They're dumping weed in there and thickening it up? I don't know what they're...
It makes the borax separate, and so they can get the pure product out and clean out the...
Where did you
dirt.
work in the pit? Did you work in the thickener, Matt? Is that why you know so much about the thickener?
No.
Where'd you work?
Rumors.
Where'd you work?
I worked in logistics.
What does that mean? Scheduling?
It means that I got parts to come in and to go throughout the plant. And
How old were you?
Ooh, in my 20s.
Okay, so they thought back then you were a little too soft for the pit.
Yeah, they were like, look at this poor little boy. We got to put him in something easy.
They'd put George in the pit. Look at the shy guy. He looks muscly. He looks like he
a
could.
pit driver.
He looked like a pit man. Oh, look at this. Okay, here we go. This is processing. So all those giant industrial Axis Chemicals looking stuff down there, they all have a different purpose in the various stages of refining borax. I like that. Does it have to go into any big fires or anything? I'd like to see that.
No.
Oh, darn it.
There's no
what?
Borax kiln.
Borax kiln? A kiln? A kiln.
Kiln.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He wants
Sorry,
to see
everybody.
fire.
You don't have to heat the borax?
Yeah,
You
that's
do,
right.
but no, it's not a fire.
Oh
It's not
man,
like a
but they do
flame.
blow up the pit from time to time. So there
They
is
do,
explosions.
So there is explosions.
So we don't have fire, but there
How
are
do
explosions.
they heat it up?
That's a good question.
Now,
Maybe we should go find.
I have a less
museum
boring
guy
question, which is, do they ever schedule out the explosions and then announce that information to the public so we could watch some Wicked Pit explosions?
Probably.
Which is a great band name, and I claim it. Wicked Pit Explosion.
Add to the list.
Okay, so this is mostly how I see borax. If I'm in some like industrial place and you just see giant bags of it, more than I see the borax 20 Mule Team soap anywhere anymore. What?
We had a spill.
Oh no!
We have a spill.
We've got a borax spill. We got a 2319. We got a 2319.
Yeah, it works.
Hold on, guys. This could be flour or something. Could be dummy. A dummy product. Yes.
Yep, that's borax.
Oh, and that's the good stuff. That's the pure, uncut borax.
Take you anywhere.
No, that's the good borax, guys. We came to the source. Okay, Matt, repeat that really quick.
So Borax owns their own shipping yard.
So they literally have their own like tanker boats or whatever they're called, cargo boats.
In Long Beach.
And they don't have their own rail line though. They're using the BNSF. And why wouldn't they? The what? The Boron Explorer. So you could come and start out as a pit guy and end up as a part of the Borax Navy.
Borax Navy.
Look at, we got another fun pick opportunity here. I was trying, George, why won't you get in the picture? Why don't you love fun?
I've done enough of those.
What? You don't want to have a fun time?
I'm not doing that anymore.
This is a very fun pic. Look at us, everybody. We're taking a very fun picture. Over here. Where's your head?
Okay, all right. Well, oh, luckily. Wait, you got to remove the glasses. I think it works better without the glasses. There we go.
I look scary. I'm scary without the glasses.
This is the most fun ever, and nobody from the museum has actually come to talk to us yet. But there's a whole other wing, right?
There's a whole, it's called the gift shop and it closed at 4:30.
Oh no, what time is it now?
Let's see. You're past by
Oh, we're 3 minutes over. You know what though? I don't know if they get a lot of visitors. They might be happy that we're here. Let's find out. Let's go see if we can buy some borax because I got to clean my insides. Okay, look at this. Here you go, radio stars in the Death Valley Days program. Like I said, they sponsored a lot of TV shows and radio shows. Oh, look at this! Why do they have C-3PO out here? Oh, because they mined borax out of the 20 Mule Team Valley and they shot that scene from Return of the Jedi on 20 Mule Team Road. That's why. I just answered my own question. I'm a freaking genius. Oh my gosh, the Borax gift shop. It's absolutely incredible. Look at this. They've got borax crystals in here. Periodic table posters. Borax sweaters. Oh, look at the shirt. That's a sick tee. There's a sick model of the 20 Mule Team here showing how they used to take out all the borax out of Death Valley. They're still very proud of that history and that legacy. And look at this. Here's some of the hosts of Death Valley Days. That's the main TV show that they used to sponsor. So you have Clint Eastwood over here. He was in a few Death Valley Days episodes. And then Ronald Reagan, who was the show host from 1965 to 1966. And then look at this. Here's a show they sponsored. Star Trek. Oh my goodness, you can buy books about Death Valley and scorpions. I guess there's not a lot of children's books about borax to buy. But you can buy some tangentially related borax reading material. And that's close enough. Oh my gosh, there is a book about 20 Mule Team Borax. And then look at this, magnets. How do they work? Oh, look at this, 20 Mule Team coasters, 20 Mule Team decals, 20 Mule Team mat, 20 Mule Team hat. And look at this, you can actually buy a box of borax straight from the source. Okay, they've got vintage US Borax certificates of stock for $1 each. If the kind lady will let us buy stuff still, I think I might need a stock. So does that still count, you think?
You'll find out, won't
I
we?
think I could own a little bit of that. I'll be, inflation proof?
Inflation?
I don't know what words mean.
I don't know either.
Dude, this visitor center is cool, but the gift shop rocks. I got really excited because they have a tin of borax right here. And as I told Matt, it's actually 3 times as expensive as buying it in the box. But that's because you get it in a commemorative tin. So do you go for the commemorative tin or do you just go for the box?
You go for the box and the tin.
You go for it all. Okay, guys. I have terrible, horrible, life-ruining news. Unfortunately, we were 5 minutes too late to purchase anything at the gift shop. So if I want borax, I either have to steal some of this fiberglass insulation or I can go back over to the bag and get some of the free borax. I can clean out my inside. Yeah. Guys, I need a little more. I need a little more borax. They wouldn't sell me any borax. I need my insides clean. Borax, borax, borax. All right, guys, I've been physically removed from the property for the time being. Luckily, they do sell borax at every corner store, every grocery store, and it's in everything. So in a way, like Matt said, borax is in all of us. All right, so my dream for years, and Matt Most has been working on it recently, is to get down in the pit. But even if that never happens, not only do you have the US Borax Visitor Center, but look at this, in the little town of Boron, there's also the 20 Mule Team Museum that goes way into all the history. They got their little Santa Fe Boron depot over there. Borate, I almost said. Borax, borate, boron. It's a little confusing, but that's just because I'm a boron. Because this community was so tied in with the mining operations in Death Valley, there's a lot of Death Valley history out here, because a lot of those Death Valley pioneers and miners are the people who literally picked up and moved here to Boron and continued the operation here. So they are literally the descendants of the original pioneers out there in Death Valley, settled these desert communities, made the desert bloom with pits and flowers and trees, which is why they've got a smaller version of that big old truck we saw up there over here on the corner of Boron Avenue, in fact. And of course, mining was the big thing here, but eventually, I believe in the 1940s, they built Edwards Air Force Base, literally just a hop, skip, and a jump straight down this road. That's the place where they first broke the sound barrier. They worked on all kinds of experimental aircraft. I'm sure they still do, although we'll never know. Most of you that grew up like in the 80s and 90s, you'll remember that's where they used to land the space shuttle at times. In fact, if I'm not totally mistaken, I think they still have a space shuttle out at Edwards Air Force Base. And so they also have the Boron Aerospace Museum that has a lot of equipment donated by the base. So on the one hand, it may be the middle of nowhere, but look at this. Everywhere is somebody's everywhere. You know what I mean? That's certainly true for the residents of Boron, California City, Mojave, North Edwards, Kramer Junction, and any other desert settlement out here. They're a proud people with a long history and heritage of literally pulling civilization out of the dust of the earth, breaking barriers in terms of minerals and chemicals and products, but also literally breaking barriers like the sound barrier. And on that note, I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys. George and I are gonna hang out with my friend Matt Most from the old, mostly defunct Utmost Studios that used to help me edit Randomland back in the day. Randomland never would have existed the way it did if I hadn't had those guys helping me back when it took days and days and days to edit a video instead of the same day like nowadays. And so out of love and gratefulness, I'm here hanging out with my buddies. And that is why I've got to leave you guys behind. A little private time with the friends, but we just wanted to share part of the adventure with you here today. I'm back in Southern California. In just a few weeks, if everything goes according to plan, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we'll be heading out on our centennial Route 66 trip in celebration of the 100th anniversary year of Route 66. So a lot of adventures up ahead of us. Make sure you check out the Patreon if you want to help me on those adventures. That is the best possible way. But also, we've got hats, we've got hot sauce, we've got books. Signed books are back, hats are back, and black Randomland Kindred Spirit hats are back, as well as the hot sauce over at randomland.com. And we got a bunch of new merch coming in about a week or so, beginning of May. A bunch of new stuff over there. So that's another way you can help out, but just by watching this, sharing it with a friend, liking it, doing the subscribing thing, just by hanging out and watching till the very end, you've already done me a great kindness. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being a kind, generous, selfless, and caring individual. Never too late to be a positive person, make a positive impact, leave a positive comment, and make a positive mark upon the world. And hopefully we've done that a little bit today. We've cleaned our insides with a little bit of borax, a little bit of history, and a little bit of friendship. We've done our duty. Which means now, my friends, it's time to go home and sleep well. You just relax. I thought this place was gonna be boring, but it turns out it's bore great. Anything to add, George?
No.
Any wisdom?
Buckle up.
For safety. Holy Toledo!